We are still knee-deep in this filler arc before we return to more canonical stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if this is the end of filler. This will be the end of filler, and then the rest of this series will be just canonical stuff. I don't know. We'll find out at some point, of course. But yeah, got more filler to go through. We got more of this Hojo arc to go through, and some stuff happens this week.
Not a lot, though.
Not a whole lot. Hello, welcome to this week's episode of Jared Now Watch Inuyasha. It is episode 141. I'm Jared, joined as always by Doc Howe and Ladium.
Hello.
We are discussing Season 5, Episode 28, or Episode 138, entitled Mountain of Demons, Survival of the Duo. Which really wasn't a mountain of demons here.
No.
This is, also the final episode of Season 5, if you want to classify that.
Wow.
One more season to go. And then also, this aired originally on my birthday.
Your birthday?
When I was 14.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I was a little stinker. Probably, I would assume as much.
Any 14-year-old is a little stinker.
Yeah. Not wrong. But yeah, we are continuing off from where we ended up last week. The gang's been surrounded by demon ninjas, and then Hojo and Kagome have fallen into a river, and they're being swept away. And that's just how that goes. They try and follow. They get met with Hoshiyomi, who's just a big demon who keeps making copies of himself, and Inuyasha doesn't know how to deal with that, or neither does anyone else. The two continue to get swept along the river until Akitoki bonks his head on a log.
Mm-hmm.
Gives himself a concussion.
He's initially real excited because he's like, "Oh my God, it's just my luck! Like this is great. This is where it turns around because I'm with Kagome." And then bunk.
Bonk. That's not even the last time he'll get bonked in the head in this episode.
No, that dude definitely has a concussion.
Definitely, for sure. So yeah, Inuyasha's trying to find a way to fight this dude. He tells Sango and Moroku to go after those two, try and find them, and make sure they don't get swept away for good. There they go. The other demon ninjas go off to find them as well because they want that other half of the whatchamacallit, the weapon. Inuyasha and Hoshiyomi fight a little bit. Inuyasha's not really able to get much of an advantage on him because he gets stuck because Hoshiyomi uses his shadow thingy.
It's like a shadow pinning thing.
Yeah, he throws a knife down and it pins him. And Inuyasha can't move. If you've played Metal Gear Solid 2, I know this is the second time I'm making a reference to that game tonight for Al here.
Yep.
The boss fight with Vamp, he does the same thing. He throws a knife down, and you get stuck.
Yep.
So there you go. That's immediately what I thought of. So that happens. Also, for some reason, I watched like the beginning of the next episode when we were trying to watch this episode, so I knew exactly what was going to happen in this episode, which was something.
Oops.
Didn't really ruin anything. It's just like, oh, okay, stuff happens. Anyways, Akitoki and Kagome get out of the river, and they're just walking through the forest, and this is, of course, when Akitoki gets bonked in the head with another log or another piece of tree.
He goes through it here.
He goes through it. He hits his head. He gets a snake on his head. He finds a boar, and just having a bad time. Not good. Eventually,
his luck is not turned around.
No. Eventually, they make camp. Kagome makes some ninja food or instant noodles. And Akitoki's like, oh my God, this is the greatest thing ever. Oh, whoa.
And then he eats hers too.
Yeah, and he's like, whoever marries you is going to be so lucky. You should marry me. Oh.
I love this home-cooked food.
And Kagome's like, Eventually, Akitoki passes out and on Kagome's lap. And then she's just sitting there like, oh yeah, remember the family scroll. It's gotta be me, isn't it? Oh no. Also, demons and humans got such a rift between them. Who could have seen this coming? Oh no. The demon ninjas are watching over them because they obviously want the blade. And they're like, we gotta find a way to do it. But the blade is emanating such energy that they wouldn't be able to use it. So they're like, we just gotta wait for our homie to come back. But they have this image that Kagome dropped, which is of her and her friends. They're like, look at this painting. And then one of them's like, all right, I'm going to make some puppets of these folks, and we're going to lure them into a trap, which is what
Also, they
happens.
gave one of them like a very stereotypically gay accent
Hmm.
type deal. I was like, oh, this definitely is early 2000s dubbing.
Yep.
You actually said that, but you're not
Because you were
wrong.
like, why would they do this? And it's like, oh, right.
Yeah, reasons.
Yeah. These puppets who are, of course, meant to resemble Kagome's friends, who she immediately thinks, is that their ancestors? And it's like, bruh.
Bruh.
They basically are trying to help them out, but then, oh no, they're trying to steal this weapon, and then they get caught and everything. And Kagome has to destroy them because Akitoki is just useless.
Yep.
Just utterly useless. So she destroys them, but then eventually she gets captured by the demon ninjas, and this gets yeeted away. Inuyasha and Hoshiomi continue to fight as Inuyasha breaks himself free, and then his wind scar attack gets absorbed by Hoshiomi's blade, and it de-transforms the Tetsaiga, and he's like, oh, that sucks. Hoshiomi runs away, and then he runs literally into Akitoki because they bonk into each other, and he's like, where's Kagome? He's like,
She's gone.
and then we see Hoshiomi and his pals in the sky as he holds on to Kagome. He's like, will you trade the blade or will you let this woman die? And that's how we end this episode.
Yep.
Let's see here. The one note is that they talk about the photograph and how the demon ninjas believe it to be a strange painting because they don't know what a photograph is.
Look at this photograph.
It's the reason. It's also why Akitoki thinks instant noodles is home cooking because they
Yes.
don't know any better.
Nope.
Uh,
That's okay.
yeah. But that's going to do it for us this time. Next time, we will be discussing episode 139 entitled The Great Duel at Shone Falls. Shone? I don't know. We'll figure that out next week. I've seen the beginning of this episode, which was just a recap of this episode, so I've really not seen anything from this episode. But stuff will presumably happen, and we'll continue to see how this battle for these two weapons continues.
Won't ultimately matter, but it's okay.
Yeah, you're not wrong. But yeah, that's going to do it for us this time. If you'd like more from us, head on over to seasonalanimecheckup.com or sac.cool, where you can find past episodes of this podcast and other podcasts like Seasonal Anime Checkup OVA. You can also find columns and reviews on the site as well. If you'd like more from Anladium, go to anladium.com. She's got columns and reviews. You can follow us on Twitter and TikTok at Anime Checkup. You can follow us on Blue Sky at seasonalanimecheckup.com. You can buy our books, One Shiny Moment, a critical analysis of Love, Life, Sunshine, Hot Tubs, and Pac-Man on Amazon.com. And support us on Patreon, patreon.com/SACOVA. So join us next time as we see more from the filler.
Woo!